Yeah, Killer should be joining us shortly, so
Now, shortly, does that mean like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour?
he told me about 15 minutes, about like 10-ish minutes ago, like around 6:20, like Pacific time.
So he'll be here like around 7?
Like I think so, like a little closer to 7. He'll probably
Okay.
hop on.
Okay, that being the case, do we want to keep staying with Dam, and so you focus more on specific strategies with your hunters, or do you want to try different maps, start learning new different maps? What would you like to do?
I'm not
I'm
sure.
down
Like,
either way, but if we do choose a different map, I say we stick with it the entire time.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I was talking with Bandit about it, and it seems like the team really liked the idea of just sticking with one map because it really helps you focus on like specific details about your own gameplay. You're not worried about like, and it also lets you relearn that map. You know, I was hoping we could choose a different map and just stick with it this practice, just to, you know, like really get another map down.
Okay, let's go ahead and do Distillery, because that's a very popular one.
Okay.
Unless you rather do like Fusion Plant or Med Lab. Those are the 3 big ones, I think, right now.
I'd say Distillery or Refueling Tower.
Okay.
Wait, what are the big maps?
More popular.
If you want it.
Distillery.
I think we should try to. I think it would be good for the hunters to play a monster favorite map. You know, like not like heavily favored, but you know, kind of like how Dam kind of favors hunters slightly. Something like that, but for monsters, because we do need to learn how to play a map that is a little bit like disadvantageous to us.
Okay, I'll show you. Let's do Med Lab. We'll do a quick walkthrough, and we'll get started. I'll basically show you a couple of like feeding routes, and then I'll also show you what we call like a no dome zone, because against a good monster, if you dome the monster there, you're just going to die. So let me go ahead and start that up.
The northwest.
What was that?
I said it was the northwest.
Yeah, the northwest pod.
They cleaned it up a little bit, so it's a little better, but it's still not good.
Yeah, it's kind of like that southeast area in I was about to say Dust. I had Counter-Strike on the brain. Dam, and that you just if you have to dome, you dome, but you just really don't want to.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get a monster out of there anyways, because there's like only 2 ways
What was
for
that?
them to safely go.
Another team you're coaching for the.
It's the same team as Wednesday from ESO.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I hope them good luck.
I will let them know.
Good.
Or you can just tell them.
Good luck, you guys, on the competition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They say thank you.
I don't know
You're
who said,
welcome.
who said that.
That was my wife.
Oh,
It's fine, it's fine.
She's cheering you guys on.
well, tell her thank you.
They say thanks.
Shear Luck's first fan. Woo.
Hey, wouldn't she be number?
Oh, by the way, you guys, we're still looking for a logo. Killer has someone possibly making one. Kraz, I think, has someone that might be able to make one. But if you have anyone who's into graphic design, go ahead. And
I have a
they're
cool
willing to.
concept if you don't have the concept down.
We were thinking like, because the whole idea behind Shear Luck is when me and Kraz came up with it is me, him, and one of our buddies that used to be on the team and then left us. The whole idea behind it was basically we had shit luck with like any type of creature whenever we were playing, so we're like, yeah, we should just call it Shear Luck, because if we win, it's basically pure luck.
What you
so
should do in that case is you should make it so it look like a mammoth bird is doing the killing blow on a monster. Or like in a cocoon.
Like what we were thinking is like showing like a silhouette of a hunter, and then like having him about to step on a plant with like the nomad chasing him. Like that's what we were thinking, but I haven't actually been able to find a graphic artist to make it. But yeah, I'm open to any type of ideas if anybody has like a friend or a connection.
What's she mean for once?
Well, because she was just complaining. So now all of a sudden she's not complaining anymore.
I Kyra is my hero.
That's me talking a bit. Go
Kyra
ahead,
is
you
my
can play it. Oh,
Okay, so this is
what?
MedLab. So the best way to do is if there's no footprints, well, you always want to follow footprints when you can, but if not, it's always good to usually have the trapper and support check over here. There's 3 bodies. Sometimes the monster will eat here, sometimes not, so you can kind of tell if there's bodies there or not. Usually what we do is we usually have the support and trapper stay in the middle, so after checking there, they'll start heading down this way towards the river, whereas the assault and medic usually start heading down this way, also towards the river, because the river area is the best feeding spot because there's all sorts of mammoth birds all over here. There's also a couple of armadons that can slow down the hunters as well as tyrants, so they usually want to kind of stay and stick around this little area because it's a nice little lush jungle area, which is really good for the monster to feed. Plus, if you do get caught by hunters really early, I call this place Pride Rock. It reminds me of the Lion King for some reason, but this is a really good engagement for the monster because there's 2 elevations, and if you do come downstairs into the cave, he can easily corner or separate somebody from upstairs. So this is not a really good area to dome the monster, but the monster will sometimes bait out a dome at this location, and then he can go ahead and then feed up, and then sometimes they'll, depending on where the food travels, he'll still start heading down this way and then start looping up towards the tyrant and the river over here. And the reason why is because there's this kind of big rock area over here that you can sometimes negate a trapper dome by finding out where they're smelling. You can go back towards that direction, the south, or you can continue back up north and then head towards that northwest pod for an evolve, because if you get evolved in that area, you don't care if you're taking permanent health damage because it's a really strong engagement. So that's probably the most optimal route because, like I said, there's tons and tons of mammoth birds. Like, I mean, without really trying, I'm already ready to evolve. So it's really fast to get stage 1 evolution from the food down here, and then just go from there. There are a lot of spotters on this map. So spotter, you guys all know what spotters sound like, right?
Yeah, that noise
yeah.
you just heard.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and... I think I just startled them, so they'll run away. Okay, I'm going to startle one up here, so go ahead and stay there. You're going to hear kind of this shrill moose call. That one's gone. Let me see if I find another one real quick. Just Venom Hounds. Maybe I should take Smell Perk next time.
Is there a way to kill them as a monster without them screaming?
No, even if you try and sneak... you can sneak past them, but if you pounce them, I think they'll get in one call before they die.
Yeah, they always do. And if you hit them with a ability, it usually does it too.
Yep. Oh, you guys killed the Tyrant. That's another loud sound. The Tyrant is a very obvious loud sound. That's something else to get used to. Okay, I'm not seeing any stupid, whatchamacallit, so we won't worry about them. There'll probably be a couple in the north or the southwest area, so we'll find them eventually. So this is another kind of area. Be careful about being domed. This Tyrant is the monster's good friend, so always be very, very careful of it. Another reason why monsters like to go this way is because there's usually some toxic hounds right around here. There's only like 1 right now, it looks like. So you can use it to slow down hunters. A little bit of damage, you know, it always adds up. And if the trapper and support are together, that means it's less damage or more damage that's on them because the medic's not able to heal them. And there's few Reavers. But usually the monster will like to... Oh, there's usually sometimes spotters back here. Nope, just lots of... Ooh, wow. 6 food right there. Yeah, this is a decent area to come out of a cocoon with. They usually like to evolve behind this, or if there's a Hank on the team, slightly inside where they can try and break a little bit of line of sight. But this is a very, very, very popular area for a monster to evolve and then also engage. Also, there's a lot of glaciopobs on this map. A lot of monsters don't utilize the poop very much, but if you see it as a hunter, there's no reason not to shoot it. It's literally just energy batteries for the monster.
Oh, I always kill those guys.
Yep. Another popular area... Oh, Steamodons are another one. So if you ever see Steamodon smoke, it's almost always either because of a Reaver, because there's lots of Reavers in this map, or the monster ran by. So always be careful for watching for puffs of smoke. Most of the time, the majority of the time, it's mostly the monster, whereas the Reavers don't really do much. This is another area that would be watchful. The sloths in this map are actually located in really strong monster areas. So be careful if a monster gets domed here. He's got a little area to hide behind. He's got a little bit of elevation. Sometimes if the dome's really bad, he'll have this pillar. You don't want to dome around this pillar. It'll be very, very hellish for the hunters to do any damage because the monster can knock you down into the waterfall right behind it. And it's just a really big pain in the ass. Oh no, that's further down. I apologize. That is this one right over here. This is another, no. Yeah, this area. This is another area to be careful of about doming the monster, because they can knock you down. There's usually a tyrant there, and it's just a really awkward area to fight the monster because he can play King of the Hill really, really, really good.
Hey,
Oh,
Killer.
it looks like Killer.
You can join in as observer.
Yeah.
We're just going over Med Lab right now.
That's cool.
And then also, around here, there's usually a lot of one meets. Sneaky monsters can sometimes find a nest of reavers over here, but it's not very common. So sneaking on this map, most of the time if they do sneak, they're going to usually sneak towards the western half of the map. The eastern half, the only real good area is near Pride Rock and the little area before. You might be able to get lucky with mammoth birds, but a lot of the times you won't. So sneaking on this map isn't usually that viable, just for various reasons. Hey, cactus jump. Another area to watch out for monster domes is this little area right around here, and then a little bit further, especially if there's a sloth. I don't think the sloth is here this time, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a sloth around here, but sometimes there's a sloth like right around here. So just be careful about being domed around here, because there's a lot of verticality, a couple of buildings to hide with, and there's mammoth birds that like to shock people. I don't think there was an Armordon on this map this time, either. That's another one that you'll have to be aware of, especially at the start, because that's where you usually go. And I think that's the vast majority. This area is, like I said, the very big tropic area. Watch out for blitz leopards. They're only on the eastern side, more or less. So just be careful about them when you engage them as well. And I'm going to do one last loop and see if there's any spawns of spotters, and then we'll go, and then we'll get some games in.
Give me a moment. My team's all launching right now, but jumped in on your Wi-Fi.
What was that?
Give me a moment. My team and everything's still launching up.
Oh, no worries.
Sensor is on lock.
I don't think spotters that... I could have sworn that spotters are considered meats that will actually respawn in, but it doesn't look like that they are. Also, if a monster does sneak, there is a very, very good chance they'll actually start the map directly under here. Very, very few hunters go under here, because if you do go down here, you're going to waste a lot of jetpack getting out, and so it's not very popular, but it's easy to stay under here, and then if you see the hunters all go east, you go west. If you see them go west, you go east, and so forth. There's also a couple of bodies to eat down here as well to get you kind of started, so a good way is to usually have one person come by, and again, just check the bodies. If you don't see the bodies here, there's very, very little chance that they're that patient as a sneaky monster, and if so, you're winning the time game, which will put pressure on the monster in the long run anyway.
Why you have to let people know about my shots?
Okay, so that's pretty much it for this one. For dome engagements, always remember that the actual location of the relay is on this side. So if you do run away from the monster, don't run in this direction, because if he does engage the power relay outside of Cabot, you're not going to be able to hit him just because of that. And so usually good places is sometimes they'll fight by that building back there if the sloth's been cleared out. This area can be good, especially for behemoth. Like a hunter sits on this pillar, another hunter sits on this pillar, and another hunter sits on this one right here. Sorry, awkward holding the climb button on it when I talk. And so these three pillars really hurt. It does break line of sight a lot, but if you go from pillar to pillar, it's a lot easier to avoid. Also, you can use this back pillar. And, of course, where Griffin is. But up here is another anti-behemoth area. This one's actually pretty decent for Goliath as well. This area kind of sucks for Kraken, just because you don't want to be on the high ground, and it's just kind of a murder hole if you're not on the high ground, because you need something to hide behind, and this isn't a really good spot for it. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it for Med Lab. Med Lab's pretty simple compared to other maps for the most part. Popular dome areas include the eastern area near Pride Rock, the northwestern area, and the southwestern area. Those are pretty much the three main places. A lot of times if they do, like for instance, because of the way that the map is, there's higher elevation this way, a lot of times good hunter or good monsters will bait out a dome in the western section, and especially if they're Goliath, like with 3 leaps, you can cover the very, very, very far distance. I only have 2 right now, so I can't show you another one, but they can get they can really haul ass because of the elevation elevation discrepancies, and the extra speed you pick up while leaping. And so they'll go all the way down here, and then I'll wait for you guys to catch up. There you guys go. But they basically they'll evolve right around this rock, especially if there's Hank. They'll evolve under it most of the time, or they'll go all the way back here towards the water where this little village hut, whatever you want to call it, swamp creature shanty or whatever. This is another popular area to evolve. Like right back here. Ooh, I want to see something. Ah, it's not letting me evolve back there. Hold on. I always wanted to know if you could get away with evolving out of territory before it killed you. Eh, probably not. I'll just die. That's actually not as much damage as I thought I was going to take from there. Especially because I had to finagle with it. That's not a terrible spot. I've been trying to, like, especially on Distillery. What was that?
Is that allowed to go out of bounds at Evolve?
Yeah.
You can go, yeah, out of bounds is totally legal. You
Yep.
kill yourself long.
Yeah, in fact, like, I've actually won games.
Distillery going out of bounds.
Oh, you can't go there. Yeah, yeah, you'll see a lot of Krakens go, especially on the acid maps and the on Distillery. And in fact, I have actually won a game back in the day before they nerfed the knockback on Vortex. I would actually Vortex Laz, or like, so if they had Laz on the team and someone was low health, I would actually Vortex somebody out of bounds and in deep water, so Laz could never res them. Cool. Well, there's MedLab. Looks like Killer's logging on, so let's go ahead and back out, and let's get this started.
Yeah, I'm already in on this.
Yeah, Orbital Drill's really, really good for that. Yeah, someone on my channel was talking to me about Orbital Drill. Orbital Drill's probably my favorite dodging the dome because Acid does so little damage and Kraken can just sit outside forever. It's a really, really good way to circumvent the other... Hi. There you are. Sorry, my son's playing peekaboo. What? There you are. Where's Aiden? Got you. Okay, let's...